Welcome to this shortwave radio channel, and I thought we'd take a look at a Radio Shack catalog and go through the pages. I created a playlist for this called Radio Shack Catalog. So I chose the 1983 catalog because it probably has a lot of stuff that I either wanted or had or whatever. And I'm going to comment. I remember this cover back then. So let's check it out. Man, look at all the look at those phones here. Oh man, that's crazy. Looking at old technology that still exists in some way. We had a Sears stereo system when I was a kid and a teenager. But I was often looking at the stereo systems that were sold at Radio Shack. They're a pretty popular place for people getting music and getting all sorts of hi-fi gear to listen to. Oh, the haircuts and the looks of the 80s. Look at that. And let's go here. Let's check it out. Move on. See what could be of interest. Had a lot of hi-fi. It was very popular back then. I remember that, people wanted to have a good stereo because that's how we called them back then. If you guys remember, we were buying a stereo, cassette deck and everything. Man, pretty crazy. Turntables that are popular today. These big, huge speakers to get good sound of all sorts. They have here. Oh, look at that. Not this one. I don't know if they... Oh, I think this one. Is this one the one that I have? E is the Minimus Cube design. So I think it is. This one here. For some reason, can't really... Oh, like there's a... Here. Plus. Let's go check it out. If you guys have noticed my kid design for 5 full range, each $24.95. This one here looks like you would need to look at the model number if it's the 17, but looks like the small realistic speaker I'm using for my Kenwood R5000 in my ICOM when I listen to those radios. Mini and micro cassette recorders. Oh god. Let's check it out here. Okay. Tape recorders. Oh man. Oh, these are interesting. I had this one here. They had, of course, a selection of boom boxes, but the one that I had, which was one of the least expensive they had, was this one here, the SCR9. Terrific sound. I had this thing I wore until all the buttons fell off, and I mean, wearing a radio out, this is a radio that I wore out. And I made so many mixes of music on this. I was listening to Shom and to local stations like CKMF 94.3, Sikwa 96.9, Shom Rock Station 97.7. I would make my mix of music. I had tons of tapes. It had a decent sound, but it had a very unique and weird feature. In the back, when you would record from AM, medium wave, there was a switch. If the station you're trying to record had a tone, you just switched it off and the tone would go away. Almost as if it was like internal birdies or something, and you could just move the birdie away with a switch. That was so weird. Oh man, this thing I wore off. I used it so much. This is interesting to see this. The tapes, the cassette tapes. I never, what's interesting? I purchased TDK BASF tapes. Never did I purchase any tape from Radio Shack for some reason. I don't know why. It just wasn't that. Of course, these VHS tapes I do remember, and I had these. I had a couple of Super tapes. The 120 for VHS. I did have that. And the tape cases and boxes and the cleaning tapes. All sorts of weird things that... quality cables, microphones, of course, cartridges for your... I had some good headsets when I was a teenager. I had to purchase one, particularly one which was... this I always wanted to have. I remember back then. I always wanted to have one of those musical instruments like this. I was like, oh, this is so cool. What else do we have in here? Let's check it out quickly. Speakers, car, radios and cassettes. Of course, antennas for CB and all of that. Power adapters. Yep. This is one that I had here. I actually had the Navajo station. This one, the TRC 432, that I still have today, actually, and still works great. High performance base station and mobile. TRC 432. It was a open box, I remember when I got it. The guy, they would put a table in front of the Radio Shack from time to time. And my dad purchased it for me at an open, at one of those, open box on the table. So the guy said, look, it was used by somebody and said it didn't work well, and it didn't have any instruction manuals with it, which I figured was not much of a problem, especially in the simple CB. And we had it at like a really, really cheap price. I still remember that. So this is part one of the videos. I don't want to make them too long. Check for the other ones. We're going to continue at these pages because there are probably some pages I'll stick with a lot more time on them than this one. Looking at the 1983 Radio Shack catalog. So we'll have more videos coming up. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe. Give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.